everybody, today I am showing Aatrox versus Illaoi. This is something new I'm going to try to do where I commentate my own games, point out my own flaws, my own failures, things like that, and try to give you guys a perspective on certain matchups and things like that. And because not everyone plays every matchup perfectly, and because some matchups do go weirdly due to jungle and things like that, I thought instead of just cutting together a video of me laning as a champion and then uploading that really lazily, what if I do a commentary on the matchup and actually give you guys what I would call pointers and things like that on the actual matchup. So here we have Illaoi, and this is me on Aatrox, and this is going to be the matchup. So the matchup starts pretty normal here, as you can see. I'll just go to 4 speed here. I decide to give my jungler pull. Illaoi is in lane. Now already that should point you to something. That means Illaoi didn't leash, and I did leash. Now that's something that going to the future, I probably should have kept bigger track of. So if we actually look at it here, I'm keeping it 2 speed. We can see I don't really go for the harass on Illaoi because if I throw my Q at her, she'll throw her Q back at me. I don't really gain that much. Unless I can see a natural point to get an advantage like this, there's no point to it. Now she does have bone plating, so that does mitigate my passive damage a bit, but you can see she overextended trying to get that CS. So I got my passive hit on her, chased her back because she'd already hit me with the Q. I already hit her with the passive, so minion wave just sort of continued kind of lazily like this. I went for a few plays. She outplayed them a little. I noticed here, this is something, always pay attention to this when you're fighting against Illaoi, by the way. You notice that the Illaoi had gone W at level 2. I noticed that too. That's why I went way more aggressively, because normally Illaoi could just go E at level 2, and then if you try to play aggressively, she just rip your soul out and, you know, easy trade win, right? But I noticed that she had gone W at level 2, so I go a little bit more aggro here, trying to punish the level 2 W, and you can see that right there. But now let's talk about earlier when I was talking about the leashing. See, Illaoi didn't leash. Now that means the jungler started bot lane. So he just did a real quick camp to top lane, level 3. Now I forgot to ward, which is bad. I normally want to get a ward here or here, you know, somewhere to cover yourself, particularly if you're up like this. And I position myself in basically the worst way up north, where there's basically, see, if I was here, I could have seen Kha'Zix and maybe try to pull back, but up here, I mean, there's no way I'm going to get back to my turret. So let's speed up here. I get back into lane. Now I opted to go with a longsword. She went Ruby Crystal longsword. So the thing about Ruby Crystal is it doesn't really give her much of an advantage. She gets more health, so my passive does more damage and heals her more. But other than that, unless it's doing an all-in, in the process of trading, it doesn't really actually give her any benefit. It helps her survive an all-in, but it doesn't do that much for it. So you can see I played a little bit more defensively, got a good poke on her turret. I might have lost a, we lost about even trade, so I'd actually call that a good trade because I got my entire W combo on her there. So then I just, you can see like with that, I Q, then E over a minion, hit her, knocking her up. Then I walk back behind the minion so she can't hit me with an E after I do that. Once again, I don't have a ward, but we can see. Yep, okay, there I go to ward. See, I'm smart. I'm a smart dude. So once again, I just go for this poke here, and let me actually rewind you. I'm going to show you exactly what happened here. So what I do is I walk up, and I'm level 5, she's level 5. Level 5 is a real power spike on Aatrox. She goes for the Q, I go for the Q. I cancel that into a W. I do a W2, pull back. She fails the flash, ignite, auto attack, she's dead. So the problem here is level 5 is kind of in Aatrox time. It's a real power spike for Aatrox to get level 5. His Q starts doing actually a good chunk of damage right then, and particularly because I had gone the longsword starter. Now, I just managed to kill it. Let's talk about this play right here. So I went for the greedy turret plate here. I had my ward here, so I don't see the Kha'Zix coming up. So I see the Kha'Zix coming back. I make sure to get the turret plate because I was worried, if I die, I want to make sure I get that. So I pop my ult, flash away, get in the brush where he doesn't have vision, Q into a W. Now he flashes out of my W, so I know I can hit that Q3. I have headset here right now. I can hit that Q3 crit. So I get the double passive, the passive over here, then the passive over here. Kha'Zix, I wasn't even isolated. There was really no reason for him to be doing what he did. I don't know. So I get ahead here. Now I've got Whip and Warhammer. And I want to show this real quick right here. I have Whip and Warhammer, and watch what she does. She goes so aggro right here. You can see this. She has a pickaxe. I have whip and warhammer. Why is she here? And she's down a level. I don't understand it. So I keep the minions between me and her. I dodge out of her E into the W. Q2. I E backwards on the Q2, knocking her back into it. Whip to cancel out of my Q3, passive hit, just easy killed it. That was just so typical. I don't know why she moved up like that. And I think that's basically it for the laning phase. At this point, I'm in a winning position, and at this point, I'm just in a spot where it's on me to kill her or to go roaming. And I do a little bit of both, but the main thing is I notice, okay, so I'm level 8 to her level 6. I have Warhammer and I have Whip. So I go for a little bit of a poke. It doesn't quite work out. Not every play is going to work out, but I decide, okay, you know, let's back out. I go get these fruits here, heal myself back to full between that and my potion. She actually ends up losing this trade then because I got the fruits and she didn't. So once again, she's got ult though, and she's got her E, so I have to play a little bit careful, but I am looking for the kill on her. I'm just trying to see if I can jockey for a position to make it happen. She hits me with a Q. It's not really a big deal. I'm playing back. I could be ganked. You never know. I think here, yeah, so he's doing the Rift Herald. I'm just playing back. I can't really find a position to get a kill on her, so I'm just sort of trading, not really doing anything. I see, well, I hear that the Rift Herald is taken. So now this play, I want to talk about this one right here, because I've watched this before, so I actually know what's going to happen. The Rift Herald has been taken, but I haven't been ganked. So I hit her with a Q, hit her with a passive, hit her with a Q2, back off, and she hits me with the Soul. Now, here's something that I do that you can only really do if you're ahead. I literally wait until the Soul dies, then pop my ult into a Q, into a W, into a Q2, crit the Q2 with using an E, knock her in. The thing here that she didn't notice, but I did notice, is that if she doesn't have the Soul anymore, I ran away, but the thing is I stayed right here because I know I'm so far ahead of her. Now, I shouldn't have been hit by that Q, because she Q'd this and she Q'd me, so I took double, well, not double, but I took bonus damage and she took bonus healing, so that was bad from me. But the thing is here, she no longer has the Soul to ult, so if she does ult now, she only gets 1 bonus tentacle, not 2. So I pop the ult, use the E to maneuver the Q2 in, she gets pulled back, Q3, dead. Remember, Whip and Warhammer have the same damage of an entire Gore Drinker. An entire Gore Drinker is 55 damage. Whip and Warhammer have 55 damage. Now, the active on Whip will heal you if it's Gore Drinker. It'll do more damage if it's Gore Drinker. But the idea is you're doing basically the same damage, minus 75% base damage. So this is a really high damage build here. Okay. So at this point, I just decided I'll push the wave in. I'm too low HP to really try to make a play or anything like that, but she's dead. So I'm going to get this turret plate. We just push the wave back in. I get another turret plate because I'm greedy. But yeah, then we go back to base. And I believe at this point I should have, yes, I have the full Warhammer, sorry, the full Gore Drinker, and I have the plated steel caps. So at this point, she really, even if she's Illaoi, she's going to struggle to beat me really hard. I don't think there's basically any way she can beat me. So I decided to go for that turret play, and then we see, and I'll see it right here. I'll show you again. So I go up, make it look like I'm gonna go back. I see the E, I back off from the E, and now she has nothing that she can do. She doesn't have her E, so she has no threat, but she does have the minion wave between me and her to block my W. So I decide, well, yeah, so I get the Q1 crit. I don't take the turret. That knocks off her bone plating. So at this point, I think, okay, she doesn't have bone plating. I can play way more aggro. I fuck up that play, don't get it, but you know, okay. She still doesn't have bone plating, and I just quick mop up that kill under turret. Remember, if she's running behind the turret like this, she has very little room to maneuver, so she sort of dooms herself in this situation. Even under turret, I'm ahead enough and I'm fed enough, and if I land my whole combo, I'll kill her. She has no armor, no defensive items. She just had the HP from Kindle Gem. Now she has the full Gore Drinker. So I go, I take the full turret, getting me turbo fed, making sure it kills every last minion. Push the minion wave, back out, and then I start looking to mid lane, because my lane's done at this point. My lane is 100% done. There's nothing more to do. So I'm looking at the mid lane, and I'm thinking, can I kill this mid laner? Well, I crit the one, and it apparently was a protobelt Ryze. That was actually tyler1 going protobelt Ryze. Didn't expect the protobelt. That one took me by surprise. I'm gonna be honest. So I think to myself, okay, I did a lot of damage to this dude and he doesn't have protobelt. Let's go for the dive. Dive doesn't work out. I do blow my flash. I do blow my ignite. Probably shouldn't have gone for it. That was a bit forced. But I'd seen the Kazakhs walk through here, and I hadn't seen him here. So I thought, oh, maybe he was, you know, gone or something. He wasn't. Okay. So at this point, I then decide, okay, well, mid is doing bad. Their mid is doing bad. Their top is doing really bad. Who's their only lane that can potentially carry? Their bot lane. So I set this up. I go bot lane. I think at this point I have Cyrildas. Yeah, so I'm really fed. So if we go back, we can actually see here. The Blitz doesn't get his pull, but I go in. I see this is sort of fighting. My bot lane's not 100% winning. They're like 50. So I go in, interrupt their play. I slow the Swain. Swain gets dead to Samira. I go on to the Ezreal. He's blown everything. He can't run away. Crit that Q2. Gets pulled in. Samira knocks up, and I just leave, getting them the kill. That's basically the end of this game, and that's pretty much what I want to just show from this video. From here on out, I think it's basically me just mopping up some people. I could show you me killing people if you want to look at that. So I was top lane. I did a rotate to mid. They saw me. Too late. I'm too fed. So I go in. Remember, at this point, I have Cyrildas and Gore Drinkers. So I slow, and I do a good chunk of damage. We slow down the Swain. I'm ignited. It doesn't matter at this point. I'm just too fed. Yep, Ignite gets a kill. The rest of them are just getting locked down. And that's basically it at this point. We end up winning the game, obviously. It took a little bit dragged out from here, but yeah, at the end of the day, we end up winning the game. That's it. So that was kind of my thought process against Illaoi. Don't overextend over the minion wave where she can just whack you with her E. Don't try to play too much into her. Ward early. Notice if your opponent is leashing or not. If they haven't leashed, then it's likely the jungler is going to do a level 3 gank on top lane. So ward for that. Try to play around her E, bait it out, run up to her, walk away. If you dodge your E, that's good stuff. Notice your items versus their items. You know, all that good stuff. Once you won, you got to go win other lanes. Don't just sit. If you're Aatrox, often, if you've won your lane, even before you take the turret, you want to go help out other lanes and help them win. So that's Aatrox versus Illaoi. Give me any critiques or feedback or anything you guys have on this video. If you enjoy it, leave a comment. If you don't enjoy it, leave a comment. This is kind of experimental for me for now. If you guys like this, if this gets a lot of views, we might do more of them. But for now, that's this video. I hope you enjoy it. Special thank you to my Patreon supporters who makes videos like these possible. Make sure to subscribe to me on Patreon. That benefits me immensely. You can see a link in the description to join a Patreon for all the YouTube members. Thank you to all the YouTube members. That also benefits me a lot. Thank you to everyone who likes, who subscribes, who watches this. Thank you, everybody. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.